But I'm getting carried away. If you could bear with me for 3 minutes, I'd like to take us back to these identities. Let's take a closer look. Paul was always a bright, optimistic person. Not much made him angry. He believed that as long as one exists in Tao, then problems dissolve and happiness just occurs, effortlessly, like water emerging from a fountain. Water representing happiness, and fountain, the universal soul. However, despite his intensive efforts, Paul found it hard to always exist in Tao. If he was to be completely honest with himself, he might have never have actually experienced it. Now Paul has a lot to understand. He is desperate. The questions are burning him. He understands, even in a purely theoretical level, that true answers come from within and that true knowledge can only be empirical. Words mean nothing. Anything translated into language is already dead, he thought. I must evolve. Paul will have to go back to the start. Forget it all, because the biggest task in learning is letting go. Andreas has always thought of himself as a fighter. That was mainly because he chose to interpret his bad temper as strength, fighting force. His anger often jeopardized both his romantic and professional relationships. Andreas would always have excuses for it. I am tired, I am stressed, work is killing me. But as the years went by, the anger became a permanent feature, a seemingly inbuilt one. If Andreas was to be honest for 1 second, he would admit that this aggression was rooted in his chronic dissatisfaction with everything. Life has become a strand of uninteresting, mediocre events. And what now? Now that he does not need to achieve anything, there is nothing to fight for, no one left to be angry to, the world emptied out. And Andreas is left behind, with his anger feeling alien in his body. I must survive, he thinks, but his thoughts seem irrelevant. Andreas will soon come to realise that in order to survive, you must always first die. Maria has always been pragmatic, mildly confused, but always considered herself more self-content than most. She lived, made choices, followed her logic, her instinct, her hormonal urges. She was a perfectly functioning human animal. There was always something going on around her, consuming her attention. Life was unfolding, and she was there, alive. But what was it that she was doing? If she was to be honest, she would hear herself say, "Is that it? Did it matter? Why was she left behind?" I must know, she thought. Maria will need to cover miles without moving her feet, because the biggest changes happen when everything is still.